Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengpong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today. The sixth Vajradhara, Vajrasattva, Vajra Bodhisattva. Semu, Tanzan Capital, Tubdan City, Tubdan Kama, all Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
사랑해. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Skoin. Ejiba. Kyomaji. Jimmy. Yapi. Prim prim. Konnichiwa.
Those are greetings in many different languages. Now I would like to announce for next Saturday, February 8th at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Organized by Seattle Lechang Temple, there would be the annual spring blessing grand ceremony and with the debut transmissions for Medicine King Tara. The location is Linwood Event Center. And the following Sunday, February 9th at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. at the Rainbow Temple, there would be Guru Dorje Dorje, the Spring Grand Homa ceremony and empowerment Dorje Dorje at the Rainbow Temple Sunday. The mantra
Hom, 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 Om, Hom, Vajra, Guru, Zora, Naga, Sarva, Siddhi, Hom, Hom.
The mantra of Dorje Dorje.
Om,
or
Ar, Sik, Nir, Sik, Namo, Bhagavati, Hom, Hom, Pei.
Or
home, 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 home.
three different mantras. These few days it's quite cold. This morning, it's been snowing all morning, and everyone is still here. So what a spirit. Kudos. But if the temperature reaches 0, then when the snow melted and then freeze, then it would be ice on the road. And perhaps you think it's okay, the roads looks fine, but there may be ice on the road, so please be careful. First, drive slowly
因为它会
And second,
刹车的时候要注意一下的。
don't
好像刹车的时候，以前我
don't
们
brake
学
or
的时候是这样，
steer suddenly.
看到在雪地上刹车，
What we learn
踩得
is
很紧，因为踩的
on the snowy or icy roads, you cannot press on your brake suddenly or too much
低的方向一直跑，
because the car would still slip, it would still slide.
所以如果有斜坡的
So
话，
you should
就滑
brake slowly.
不会停的。
So if there's a downhill, then it would continue
所以
to
必须要
slide
这样
even when you
踩一下
brake.
放一下，踩一下放一下。
So you kind of pulsing on the brakes, pulsing. That's the method.
然后踩放踩放踩放踩放，
So you brake and let go, brake and let go, brake, let go,
车子
brake,
才
let
会停
go
下来。
for to stop the car.
但是路上
If you brake all the way,
是抓不到地的力量，
the ground is slippery and the wheels will not be able to stop. It would just
大家
slide.
开车务必小心。
So please be very
因为
careful
下个
when
礼拜好
driving.
像天气没有好转的现象，
And
天都
next week, the weather seems to be the same. There may be snow this few days.
对吧？这是跟大家讲的。
So,
然后车子啊，一定要 four-wheel drive，
so you definitely need a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
因为只有后轮带动或前轮带动，
If it's only rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, that would
前
not
面的车子
be
会这样
sufficient.
闪的，
The car
前
would
轮带动
sway.
后面尾巴会摇的。
If you drive a front-wheel drive, then maybe the back end would sway. So you need a four-wheel
要好一
drive.
点的车子，
Better
要老旧的
cars,
车子，
not all cars.
老旧的车子也是很麻烦。
It can be problematic.
雪
Snow, falling snow,
就是很好，就到处都
it's
是白
nice.
茫茫一片，
All white everywhere.
是银
Looks
白的
very
世界。
nice.
只有
It's
这点好处，
the world of silvery
其
white.
他都是坏处。
That's the only benefit or advantage, and the rest are all disadvantages.
下雪，
One time,
天呐，车祸就有300多件，单单西雅图地区。
there was snow, and there were over 300 car accidents only in the Seattle area.
以前我住在幽灵湖，那个上来的斜坡很大，
In the past, I was living at the Phantom Lake, and the hill was quite steep.
车子不是开下来的，
Leaving home
是滑下
or
来的。
going home, so the car was not driven down, but slid down. Slided down.
那时候滑下来的时候啊，佛经佛吉那时候还小，
At that time, Foqing and Foqi were little,
哇，好棒棒！
and when the car was sliding downhill, and they were just shouting like, "Oh, so much fun! That was great, Dad!"
他不知道，
They did not know
已经
that we were already anxious driving, panicky,
车子来来往往，
because if the car slid to the
滑
road,
就更惨了。
that would be horrible. But if it would be even worse if it slid downhill to the lake.
好，我们今天是做金刚萨埵，
Today we perform Vajasattva
老师
Homa,
跟大家讲，
and
刚
frankly
刚我看到
speaking,
金刚萨埵，
I just saw Vajasattva. I saw Vajasattva just now.
很奇妙，
Very marvelous.
让我看
And he appeared for me to see,
他的那金刚萨埵的脸，
and
那
then
就是活菩萨，
Vajasattva's face,
画的那一种脸。
At first was like the painting of a Buddha and Bodhisattva, extremely dignified and magnificent,
认真看一
and then the face
看
changed,
了半天，
and I
那
looked
个
more
脸变成世
carefully,
尊的脸。
and it became Grandmaster's face.
所以讲他是第六金刚持，
So that's why he's the sixth Vajradhara, Vajra holder, and Grandmaster Lu is the seventh Vajra holder.
那我们的上师就是第八金刚持，
And our masters are the eighth
这个金刚持
Vajra holders. So the Vajra holder will be transmitted down the lineage.
这个第八金刚持，
So all the masters are the eighth Vajra holders.
代表着这个金刚圣的一个精神，金刚圣的一个精神。
They represent the spirit of Vajrayana.
第一金刚持呢，我们晓得金刚持尊
The first Vajradhara
是阿达
or Vajra holder
贤王如，
was the Adharma Buddha or Samantabhadra Tathagata.
这个五佛呢，也是
And then below them were the five Dhyani Buddhas, or also the five Vajradharas or five Vajra holders.
五佛的法王，
And Vajrasattva is the Dharma prince of the five Dhyani
就
Buddhas.
是第六金刚持，
So he's the sixth Vajra
这
holder.
是属于金刚圣的。
This
我们知道
is
法王子嘛，文
this
殊师利
belongs to
普
Vajrayana.
贤菩萨，
We know the Dharma princes, Manjusri Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva are both
华严
Vajra princes of
释迦牟
the
尼佛
Huayan
时候，
or
文殊师利菩萨
Avatamsaka
都是法王子，
along Sakyamuni Buddha.
像西
So
方，
Manjusri and Samantabhadra Bodhisattvas are also Dharma
如果
princes.
以净土中来讲，观世
The
音
three
菩萨
sages of the West in the Pure Land sect, Avalokitesvara and Mahastamapraptas Bodhisattvas are also Dharma
净土中的
princes.
法王子是
They are Dharma princes belonging to the Pure Land sect.
密教的法王子就是金刚萨埵，
And the Dharma prince in Tantrayana or Vajrayana is Vajrasattva. And then during the Huayan era, they were Manjusri and Samantabhadra.
那金刚萨埵是唯一代表
Vajrasattva is the only one representing Vajrayana.
天图，南天图
Because when Nagarjuna was in the
面见
South India, opened the Iron Gate and met Vajrasattva.
龙树八宗的
So Nagarjuna Bodhisattva is the patriarch
是由
of the eight schools of Vajrayana.
金刚界跟胎场界
So Vajrasattva transmitted the Dharmadhatu and Vajradhatu to Nagarjuna Bodhisattva.
那金刚萨埵的本身的法身、报身、因身是金刚萨埵
And Vajrasattva's Dharma body
本身的金
or
刚菩萨
Dharmakaya,
代表慈悲，金刚手菩萨代表
Samukakaya
方便
Nimanakaya.
就是
So Vajrasattva represents compassion, Vajrapani represents Dharma power, and Vajrachitta or Vajraheart Bodhisattva represents the mind.
金刚萨埵的变化身有金刚萨埵，
And Vajrasattva's manifestation, Vajrasattva, Vajrapani, Vajrachitta.
那密教的传承刚刚已经讲了，金刚
And
总持就是
the
阿达玛
lineage of Vajrayana,
如来，
Vajradhara, which is Samantabhadra Tathagata or Adharma Buddha, and then five Dhyani Buddhas, and Vajrasattva as the sixth Vajra holder.
就是这样子。好，
That's how it is.
我们百日明咒是很重要。
100 syllable mantra is very
一个他
important.
讲是
First
清净
is to purify self nature
自性清净一切自性清净，广大
and
自性清净，
purify
广大其他清净，
encompassing purity and the vast self nature
一切
purity
的清净。
and vast all purity.
走的时候，
This represents all
讲了
purity.
2个字，
When Master Dubdandraji left, he only spoke this word, purity.
他走的时候是
When he left,
送图登大吉上师有
Master Dubdandraji
送给我一尊这个金刚萨埵，
bestowed upon me an image of
金
Vajrasattva.
刚萨埵交付给师尊，当
So he entrusted Vajrasattva upon Grandmaster.
他说，将来你就
At
是
that time,
这个金刚萨埵送给你，
he said,
等于金刚
by bestowing this Vajrasattva to
将来
you,
就是金刚萨埵。
it's the same as the Vajrasattva prophecy that in the future you would uphold the lineage of
图
Vajrasattva.
登大吉上师，
And Master Dubdandarji,
中和宗的弟子都有见过。
most Trubhuda school disciples have met Master Dubdandarji.
的弟子都有
Please raise your hand if you have met
跑
him.
到精英佛阁去，
You've gone to the
他说好
Jingyin
多人去了，
Buddhist attic in Hong Kong, and many people went visit him
他的
at that
本
time.
尊是咕噜咕列佛，
His yidam was Gurukule
他的
Buddhamada.
本尊是咕噜咕列，
That's whom he practiced, but he only delivered 300 disciples. Master Dubdandarji, only 300 disciples. But Gurukule Buddhamada, he should have delivered millions of people, but how come just 300?
师尊一个就可以了。
But he said, if I just deliver one, Grandmaster Lu, that's good enough.
告诉你，卢师尊一个就等于
Because by delivering you, Grandmaster Lu, then he would have 5 million grand disciples already. That's what he said. That's the power of Gurukule Buddhamada.
而你们将来如果以咕噜
So in the future,
尊的
if you have Gurukule Buddhamada as your yidam, you would be incredible in the future, really.
下一辈子当歌星，当汉
And then in your next life, if you become a singer, try and see. You would become a Zhou Jielun.
看起来也不怎么样，
So
唱的歌就是这样。
he looks so-so, and his singing is also so-so.
大鸡灯都满了，
But whenever he's out,
这票秒杀，
he's so,
秒杀是什么意思？1秒就没有了。
and all the tickets are gone in a second.
你修了那个法，
So by practicing that Dharma, Jeito,
就算你长得
and then if you become a singer in the future, even if you look good or you look so-so, as soon as you stand up, everyone would faint underneath
尖叫、昏倒，
and screaming and fainted and being carried out.
怎么会这样？
How can it be?
前世修来，
That's practice from past lives to have popularity.
众生有。
That's from past lives practice.
不怎么样也是怎么样，
So even when you are so-so and just no big deal, but you're a big deal, the tickets were gone in a second. No, it's full house.
你说那个嫁到日本那林志玲，
And Lin Zilin, who married to Japan,
圆圆
in the past, Yan Yan came
唱给圆圆听，
And I used to sing this to Yan Yan in the past. I love Yan Yan. Yan Yan loves me. For me, Lin Zilin is nothing.
那演员也唱啊。
And then Yan Yan also sing. I love Grandmaster. Grandmaster loves me. And for me, Jicho is nothing.
对不对？什么对？你看，演员现在长大了。
Yan Yan now has grown up, and Fang Fang has grown up too.
那天
The other day, they came, one hand holding Yan Yan, one hand holding Fang Fang. And I
我的小腿
told Fang Fang, you used to hug my lower leg when you were little. Now they have both grown up.
我说你还记得我唱的歌吗？
Do you remember the song I sang? No, they don't remember.
很好玩。
It's fun. Humans.
挺好。
It's not talking about others, talking about eating.
那时候依婷3岁的
Back
时候，
then,
认识的，
she was 3 years old, and I knew her from then.
歌给我听，
And she sang a song for me.
说我唱歌给你听，我要弯下腰来。
And then she said, I will sing a song for you, and I have to bend down in order to hear. But now she doesn't sing for me anymore. And now I have to look up to her.
长得又高，
She's tall
好像体格也很壮。
and also look very
来
stocky.
给大家看看，
So eating, please stand up.
哇！你有没有比我高？
Are you taller than I am?
你多少身高？
What is your height?
65。
165.
63啦。
At my highest, I was 163.
现在年纪大一点了，变成158。
And now as I age, I'm at 158 centimeters.
可以的。
You're 165? That's good.
啊，请坐。
That's good enough. Please be seated.
他是一队的队长哎。
See, she is the leader of
一队的队长。
the school band.
你考政大那个成绩下来没有？
You applied for the university, Zhongda.
水还有。
Somebody else said yes. Who?
考政治大学。
This is applying to the Zhongzi University in Taiwan.
那还有笑话在这里。
I still have some jokes here.
The 老板问他的职员，
The boss asked the employee,
老板讲：“你有车吗
Do you have a car? Do you have a car?
小明回答：“有啊。
And the employee said yes.
老板问：“
And the boss asked,
可以送我去机场
At night, can you drive me to the airport? And Xiaoming said,
可以？”
Yeah,
一个
but
人开一半，
we just, one person drive halfway. What does it mean?
老板问：“你是什么
And the
车
boss asked, What kind of car? Oh, it's bicycle. But I guess in Chinese, it's all vehicle. You know, what kind of vehicle?
这应该是慧经的笑话。
This is a joke about Hui Jin.
慧经呢，买了一件
Hui Jin bought
穿上
clothes and have worn it and asked
为什么我穿上
the
跟
disciples,
网上看的不一样？
how come it looks different from what's on the internet?
是啊，模
And
特儿穿
the fellow disciples said,
上面的扣子是扣不上的，
for the model,
上是
you will not be able to button the top, but as for you, you would not be able to button the lower 3 buttons.
一样的。
Xiao An is like you.
调皮的天，伤心的雨呀、
Naughty sky, sad rain, and tomorrow and the following day there will be snow.
上一顿，
When
就淋
the heaven is happy, would be sun you, and then if not happy, would
下冰雹，
snow on you or scare you with hails.
时准备
Please be careful and
自己的
prepare your own
行走的工具，最
tools in transportation,
心情随时会变，
because the sky is broken-hearted, so the mood changes anytime.
这个老公跟老婆啊，
The
两个
husband
老人在客厅看电
and the wife, the two elderly husband and wife, are watching TV, and suddenly the channel became the beauty contest,
视，卧室
and the elderly man
笑着讲，
is blushing and then went into the bedroom, and the wife said, "It's already this old and you're still so
正坐在沙发上，
so conventional." But actually he was looking for his glasses.
好了，我们进入你问我答。
Now we'll do the Q&A.
印尼莲花奇峰问
From Indonesia, Lian Lotus Chi Feng.
师佛，
Homage to Guru Buddha.
常住世间，
I pray that you stay in samsara to greatly turn the Dhamma wheel and widely deliver sentient beings. In Southeast Asian countries, sorcery or black magic is very prevalent.
被怀疑自己
Therefore, when facing misfortunes or obstacles, some people suspect that they have been cursed by others. However, after seeking advice from grandmasters,
我们
we come to understand that sometimes it's just an effect of negative energies or clashing spirits. So, Grandmaster, how can we differentiate whether it's sorcery, black magic, or just a mere
能众生
a mere attachment by spirits or energy class?
或是杠头，
So, what is black magic and what is
三亚杠头，
a spirit disturbance?
像印尼呀、马来西亚
I know there are lots of black magics or sorceries or spells in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore,
南美洲也有。
also in South America,
其实
and not only in South America, it's everywhere.
像台湾也有，
Also in Taiwan.
东南亚、东北亚，美国
So
应该有。南美
Southeast Asia, East Asia, American continents.
专门卖杠头的店，
Didn't I say that I
那
went
个
to a shop who especially sell items for casting spells in the Dominican Republic. We went to the market and they took me to visit the shop for spells for casting curses, and they sold lots of stuff, the piranha fish teeth, the wings of bat, and human bones. Human bones are no big deal. There are many things from Tibet that are made from human bones, from Kapala, the skull cup, and the horns. They were all made by human bones. And in the past, my gurus told me, if you take the skull cup of a smart person as your kapala, and then you perform your ritual, that would not be good. You should take a skull cup of a dumb person. So how do you differentiate what kind of skull cups belong to smart, intelligent people or to stupid and dull people? It's by licking with your tongue. If the skull is fine and smooth, that belongs to the smart people. If it's rough and scratching on your tongue, that's the skull of a stupid person. But if you use the skull of a dumb person, it would be powerful because they would just follow your intent. But the skull cup of a smart person, they have their own minds or opinions. So that's why the dumber, the better. Because the smarter, then you're not going to be utilized. So those that are used are usually the dumb people. The smart people cannot be cheated, but nowadays they are cheated too. But for skull cup, the smarter you are, the skull is fine. The finer the skull is, and the dharma, the rougher. So they use the skull as to make a skull cup or kapala. So you went to Dominican Republic in that sorcery shop. They have everything: teeth, eyes, ears of animals. They all have those. A high adept, a high sorcerer that has great power. It's very easy to cast spells on others, but they don't do it. Why? Because primarily they want to cultivate spiritually. Because casting spells are deviant, heretics, improper path. Like those with unkind heart. Because if you have great supernatural power, you visualize the person, you place the eyes at the back, the ears on top of the head, and the mouth was here, and just move the place, move the locations of the eyes and nose and ears to different places. Just by doing that visualization, that person would be dead. That's all they need to do if they don't have a good heart. But they have great Dharma power, but they are not a good person with no good heart. All they needed to do is to visualize and put the eyes to the back, the nose to the top, the mouth somewhere else. Then your skull will split open and break. And then there would be a tile falling from the roof and hit your head, and you would be dead. That's called black magic. In Chinese, it's to curse your head, or sorcery. Actually, sorcery and Chong Fan, which is ghosts or conflicting energies, are about the same. Those are all spells and rituals that are evil rituals. Like they take dog tooth, and then nail it on your face or somewhere. Then you would be bitten by animals. The animals would bite you. You're just walking on the road, and then all of a sudden there's a dog that would bite you. And all they did was just push that dog tooth at a certain part of your body. That's called sorcery. All they need to do is the fresh wing of a bat that's bleeding, and then put it on the replica of you. Then your arm would be cut off. Like if you use a machinery, then all of a sudden it would be cut off. That's called sorcery. So sorcery and affectation by negative energy are about the same. Affectation by negative spirits, ghosts, or energies. Think about this. You're just walking and you don't know that right in front of you there is an evil spirit, and you go through his body, and then afterwards then you start to have fever and chills, and no matter how you tried to cure yourself, you couldn't, because the ghost is now bonded to you. That's called Chong Fan, or affectation by negative energy. So they're about the same. They're just encountering negative energy and negative things, evil things. So they're all similar, Gang Tou and Chong Fan. So if your luck is bad, then a lot of the negative energies would affect you. But if you are fortunate and your luck is good, then none of those negative energies would affect you, would not dare to approach you. Like the Master, don't have affectation by negative energies. All I do is just protection, and the protectors are also around me. And you chant the protector's mantra everywhere. And before sleep, also chant the protector's mantra and the sleep protection practice. And then I make offerings before eating and at any time. When I wear clothes, that's armor protection. When I eat, that's offering. When I wear, that's armor protection. And your dwelling, that's protection. When you stay, you reset protection mantra. When you travel, you chant the Yida mantra. So with the protectors around you, that means you have light enveloping you, then you're not scared of anything. Even when the sorceries will cast at you, it will not touch you. So there's no need to differentiate whether it is sorcery or clashing with negative energies. Because as long as you have light on you, then the black energies or the dark energies will never be able to approach you. It's just like when you lit a dark room. When you turn on the light in this room, then the darkness will not be there. But when you have no light in the room, then of course darkness is there. That's the same concept. So whether you are affected by the sorcery or a clash or negative energies is all the same because you have no light. Why do you want to differentiate them? And you got affected by the sorcery because you have no light on you and you have no blessings by the guru, yidam, or protector. But if you have your guru, yidam, protector, then you're not afraid of any sorcery or any negative energies. Wherever you go, you have light and they would avert you. Although they have grudges against you, they only follow at a distance. They don't care to invade you. But when you do something bad, then you have no more light. Then they would invade you. It's a simple concept. So how should we differentiate whether that was curses spelled or negative energy? There's no need to differentiate because they're about the same. The most importantly is you should have light inside your heart mind. Spoken by His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, the key point is to have light inside your heart mind. If you have light in your heart mind, you will definitely rise to the Pure Land. If you have no light, you would fall into the three low realms. Then you would experience the black magics and the curses and the sorceries and all those negative, evil energies. Otherwise, although they come near you, but they're just waiting around, they don't dare to invade you. Now, do you understand? So it's that simple. What is sorcery? What is Chongfan, which is affectation by negative spirits or energies? Or invasion by the negative energies. Now we will expound on the Vimalakirti Sutra. Sakyamuni Buddha told Maitreya Bodhisattva, Maitreya, there are also two characteristics of those known as newly aspiring bodhisattvas. Who cannot fully determine the profundity of the Dharma. There are two kinds of bodhisattvas who cannot understand, penetrate, or teach such profound, ultimate Dharma. What are these two? First, they have never heard of an ultimate transcendental sutra, such a profound Mahayana sutra they have never heard of. And upon hearing it, they become frightened, develop doubts, and cannot follow it. So they become skeptical. They cannot follow the flow of sentient beings to spread this ultimate sutra. They even slander it, stating their disbelief.
这种不疗愈、这种疗愈的经典的话。
So they would slander such transcendental, ultimate, profound sutras.
另外还会讲
And they don't believe it, and they talk about it.
法是哪里来的？
I've never heard of such a sutra. Where did it come from?
若有护持解说如是
And second, when encountering someone who upholds, supports, and explains such profound sutras, they refuse to approach, make offering, or show
另外
respect.
有第二种，
The second
虽然它
kind,
属在疗愈的经典，大乘的
although
能
they support Mahayana
这种深的经典，
Mahayana ultimate sutras, and they can uphold, support, and explain such sutras, but
新来的学者
they don't like the newly aspiring
另外在这个
beginners,
经典当中，把它作为分别。
and they differentiate
疗愈的经典，又把它
the ultimate sutras,
又把它起了分别的心。
give rise to discrimination toward the ultimate sutras. There's two kinds. How come they don't believe this transcendental ultimate sutras and they just
疗愈的是表面上，
believe the non-ultimate sutras? Why? Because the non-ultimate sutras are superficial.
像很简单讲，
The profound sutras,
好像我以前也讲，
simply speaking, I have explained, like in the past,
知是佛法，
greed, anger, and delusion are Buddha Dharma.
诶，大家都不太相信，
Oh, you
为什么
don't
贪是
quite
佛法呢？
believe that. How can greed be Buddha Dharma?
贪可以修，由贪来修。
Because you can practice
比
using
如讲
greed.
财来
For example, about wealth,
财施，
giving wealth.
举一个现实的例子吧。
Let's give a pragmatic example.
圣观音第一副豪华嘛，
I've been talking about the first and foremost wealthy man of
不这
Avalokitesvara, noble Avalokitesvara, Arya Avalokitesvara.
圣观音第一副
Mani
豪华，
Pemi Hom Tachaputra
我不是讲
Guruya Soha. I have transmitted that Dharma, right?
听了说啊，
And then other Buddhist schools heard that.
圣
Wow,
观音可以得到第一
the
副，
wealthiest Dharma practice of Arya Avalokitesvara. So by practicing Arya Avalokitesvara, you can become the richest man? That must be
没有这个
wrong.
圣观音第一副
That
豪
must
华，
be deviant. There is no such thing.
怎么可？因为叫你做第一富豪就是贪吗？
Because teaching you to become the richest is like teaching greed.
一个是慈济，
You know, in Taiwan, there are four Buddhist mountains: Tzu Huoguang, Huagu, and Zhongtai.
四个大山，
The four great
最有
mountains.
钱的
And the richest one is
慈济，
Tzu
他是第
Foundation,
一名，第一有钱。
the richest one.
第二有钱的是
The second
佛
richest,
山，
Foguang,
大家都知道。
Buddha Light, Foguang, we all know.
第一有钱的是慈济，
The richest one is Tzu.
那慈济第一有钱，那不是第一富豪是什么？
So,
那第一
being the richest, so that's the richest
那是
man.
正教啊，
So, is that evil? No. That's the true
有钱就是
teaching.
就是学法嘛。
So,
不对，
being wealthy is deviant dharma? No,
圣观音
no,
第一
no,
富豪
wrong.
你贪财，
But let me tell you, the will,
懂得财
the
施
Dharma practice to be the wealthiest of Arya Avalokitesvara, yeah, that's about wealth. That's right.
像你有
But
钱
you
就
can
是你
give
要
wealth.
施啊
So to teach you to be wealthy, so you can give. If you have no money, how can you
你
give?
的工作啊
So Tzu Foundation is giving money. So it's as it should be that they have money.
是正法，
That's why the Dharma practice to be the wealthiest by Arya Avalokitesvara is the right Dharma.
再说密教本身就有财，
And in Tantrayana, there are wealthier practices. And why do you practice it? Of course, because you have greed for
黄
wealth.
金全部掉到
It's best if you have gold falling on you. Now gold is very expensive. It'll fall around you.
观天，
Wow, then
都是黄金的。
you just see all gold around you.
你能够拿这些钱去，因
And
为
then you can use this money.
一钩之，
We just fulfill your desire first before guiding you onto the Buddhist path. And that's the most important thing about the Vimalakirti Sutra.
四神组当中第一
The
个神
four transcendent bases, the first one is
叫做一神组
the desire. So to fulfill your desire
当中，
of the four transcendent
我们
bases,
写了四念处，
we've studied the four mindfulness, four right exertions, four transcendent bases, and of the four, the first one is the desire transcendent base. So to fulfill your desire,
进入佛法。
and then to guide you onto Buddha Dharma, you practice the wealthier Dharma.
面
And after a long while, you would penetrate it, then you would know, and you transform greed into Buddha Dharma. Therefore, greed is Buddha Dharma. Practicing the wealthier
好了，
and about
孔子讲的
other desire,
色，
two kinds according to Confucius.
色的欲望，
Food and sex are human natures.
让你一神足。好，
So
色的欲
to
望，
have a desire,
色的欲望的佛法，
transcendent base, you have desires, sexual desire,
欲望的进行，
and then let you
之
give
间你观想，
rise to your desire, and then among it
那就变
to
成
let you be mindful of your yidam and enter into yidam. Then you transform the desire into purity,
再变成欲望，
and after
变成清
purity to become desire, desire becomes purity, purity becomes desire, desire becomes purity again.
主要双修的本身，
And this is the most important
产生的欲望出来，
of the dual body
欲望
practice.
就变成清净。
So during the consort practice, the desire would arise, and then you purify it,
欲望在进
and then you
变成清净，
perform it and give rise to the desire again, and then purify it again, back and forth and back and forth.
欲望一下
So desire and purity and desire and purity and desire and purity. And it would lengthen the time
无漏，
and with non-leaking light drops.
就是这个原理。
That's the
你单单升
principle.
起欲望，
If you just give rise to desire, then you would give birth to a human baby.
因为你只有欲望嘛，你当然是
Because all you have is desire.
之间欲望，你就生小孩。
So sexual desire between a man and a woman, you give birth to a baby.
先有欲望以后再收回，
But if you have desire and then you retract it and become purified, then you would become a sage.
僧人
So if you follow it, you would give birth to a man. But if you go against it, you would become a sage.
道家的道理，
So this principle in Taoism is the same as in Tantrayana.
道修。
So you practice starting from the greed and desire.
大话，不能够讲大话。
And you cannot be boastful that, oh, I'm practicing from desire and greed, but actually you're just following your desire.
你没有办法转从贪
And if you cannot turn and transform your desire into purity,
你就从贪当
Then-
中转成清净。
it's impossible for you to do that. then you're not skilled. But if you can transform your desire into purity, then you have mastery. That's why you say greed is Buddha Dharma. And this is in the Mahayana Ultimate Sutras. Vimalakirti can go to the brothel because he was able to turn and transform. That's why he was qualified to go. But if you cannot do it and you go visit the brothels, you would be dead. Dead for sure. Because Vimalakirti had mastery, so he could visit the brothels. Why the Mahasiddhas can have attainments in the brothels? There were several Mahasiddhas who had attainments in the brothels. Tilopa, Virupa, the one holding a fish was Tilopa. He was in the fish market. Naropa, he could be in the brothel. Because they had such a skill and mastery to transform the greed or desire into purity. And Vimalakirti was like that, and what's spoken in the Vimalakirti Sutra. And you practice starting from the greed or desire for wealth or for sex, also cultivation methods. And most ordinary people wouldn't believe that. How can there be such a thing? It's too scary. You'll be dead. But no. Because you have non-leaking light drops and you transform it into purity, and it's beneficial to yourself and also to the partner. Beneficial to both. So it's transformed into spiritual cultivation. So consort practice is also spiritual cultivation. The wealth deity practice is also cultivation. But ordinary people hearing that would be scared. No, you cannot touch that. If you touch that, you will be dead. But it's true. If you touch that, you would be dead. However, if you can cultivate spiritually until you reach non-leaking light drops, and you transform yourself into the Yidam, that you are the Yidam himself, and you transform the partner to be a Yidam, so two Yidams and two lights merging together, and both radiating light. That's spiritual cultivation. But such a method cannot be done by most people, ordinary people. So newly aspiring bodhisattvas would not be able to explain this sutra. And instead, talking about its negative side. You cannot support such a profound sutra and refuse to approach, make offerings, or show respect. They even speak ill of such a person. So frankly speaking, in the beginning, you cannot touch it. You have to keep the precepts. And unless you have go beyond the precepts, unless your mastery have gone beyond the precepts, so they slander this Dharma, harm this Dharma. So this twofold signify a new aspiring bodhisattva who harms themselves by failing to subdue their own mind. And Sakyamuni Buddha told Maitreya, there are two other faults. Even though a bodhisattva has faith and understanding in the profound Dharma, they still bring harm upon themselves, are unable to attain the unborn endurance. So although the bodhisattvas believe such profound sutras, and they are the ultimate sutras, the greed, anger, and delusion are Buddha Dharma, but they still harm, slander them and unable to attain the unborn endurance. That's a fruition of the 8th ground bodhisattva, non-regressing. What are the two faults? First, they look down upon newly aspiring bodhisattvas and do not guide or instruct them. You understand this, but you don't teach the newly aspiring bodhisattvas. You don't guide them or teach them. You don't explain the Dharma clearly. And the second, even though they understand the profound Dharma, they grasp at the appearances and make distinctions. These are the two faults. So although you understand the profound Dharma, you divide them into two, good and bad. This one can be done, those cannot be done. Divided into two, and that's not right. This is spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha. So, for greed, you can start cultivating from greed, like practice the world deity Dharma practice. In this world, it's all about name and privileges or benefits. But you can practice from them. How about name or fame? How come you don't want it? Like practicing Gurukule Buddha Mother, then you would become popular. You would have fame. Then the more famous you are, you can deliver many beings. The more beings you can deliver. And benefits, if you have lots of benefits, you can help people. You can give, like Tzu for Guangsan. They're all rich, but to be the school is like a beggar. Although it's a beggar, but there are also many who are rich. There are also many who are poor. So we are a mix or neutral. So what we see with our physical eyes are just fame and benefits. And that was spoken by the great master Hong Yi. And what's seen by the celestial eye is the incarnation, right? And what's seen by the Dharma eyes is cause and effect. What's seen by the Dharma eyes I think is the unborn endurance seen by the Dharma eyes. Huiyan, by the wisdom eyes, that everything is non-existent, everything is empty. And what's seen by the Buddha eyes are all compassion, spoken by the great master Hong Yi. So, If you can truly attain unborn endurance,
第八地不退菩萨，
then you would be non-regressing bodhisattva of the eighth
道
crown.
心不会退。
They would never abandon spiritual cultivation. But before you reach the eighth ground, there is a possibility for you to abandon spiritual cultivation.
那就不会退。
When on the eighth ground you attain birthlessness,
无生
then you will be non-regressing, because with no birth there would be no death.
空
With
界
no birth and no death, you are liberated. You are liberated through emptiness,
你了解这
liberated through non-phenomena and non-action. If you can understand these three types of liberation,
什么是
then you can understand what the ultimate sutras are about, the profundity of this transcendental ultimate sutras.
爸爸问小明：“你长大的梦想
Dad
是什么
asked Xiaoming, what's your aspiration when you grow up? And Xiaoming said, I want to change the world.？”
爸爸跟他讲：“改
And
变
Dad
世界
said,
一定要在结婚以前。
if you want to change the world, you should do it before marriage. ”
爸爸跟小明讲：“因为你结婚以后啊，你家里
And Dad told Xiaoming,
都改变不了。
because after marriage, you wouldn't be able to change even your TV channel.
改变世界。”这是慧君的笑话。
That's a joke
什么
from
叫
Hui
做
Jun.
勇敢？慧君的勇敢是什么？
What is the courage for Hui Jun?
你知道，这一顿火锅吃下去会胖。
And Hui Jun knew that eating this hot pot would make me fat, but I would still eat it. That's the courage.
小孩每次这样，不要浪费。
So just don't want to waste. That's how Liao Xiaoan too. Although you know that you would gain weight by eating it, but you still eat it. That's the courage.
跟那个
Hui Jun and Xiaoan.
啊，小安在哪里？
Is Xiaoan?
楼上，他就是不要浪费。
And he said that he didn't want to waste food. So he's very brave. Om Mani Padme Hum.